3 games down, guys, and we already have a decisive lead for Arkham. It's above 50 points, but there are still players in contention here. Frappi has clawed his way back with a 60-limb win. As we hop into game 4, let's talk about some of those contenders. Let's talk about who potentially can stop Arkham, because right now he's on a tear like none other, Monster.
Yeah, there's a battle going on for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. We're talking Acorn, Epic Whale, Tautai, all of which are really in the money here to continue to break their way up. But hey, it's a matter of who can dethrone Arkham at this point. If he continues at this pace, I think there's going to be no looking back. You said it, Balla. He's on his way to a 500-point grand finals. That's ridiculous.
That would definitely be a record for DreamHack grand finals. And I'm not even sure the average placement that he has right now is 3.3. Again, 4th, 5th, and 1st. And it's no signs of stopping the way that he's rotating through zones and having no risks at all through the early and mid games. And going from there, I mean, you might see this average placement hold over the 8 games, which might even be a grand finals record in general, especially one of this caliber. Newell now onto Kono. And a crash pad up. He goes over the roof, and that will be a quick one. Newell, nice shot from him. Put himself up to 10 points. He's been switching up his drop many times. You remember him getting taken out by Reet in game 2 after dropping caddy corners suddenly.
Way to switch it up for sure. Someone who's got a late drop here is Ketsui trying to figure things out.
Are they 50-50 Shark? What is this?
What was that?
Season 2? Like, what's going on? Are they 50-50 Shark? There's no grappler here. They actually are. What?
Gosh.
Ketsui? Okay. I guess this is the thing. 46 points for Ketsui, the easiest elim I think I've ever seen.
Hey, I mean, it's working. He's got something going for him.
Well, that was literally a guaranteed elim for him. The way that the drop was, they both could have seen that coming. I'm shocked to see that player continue on that path rather than going somewhere else or trying to land on a chest or something on the other side of the Shark. Instead, he gifts himself to Ketsui. Weird.
I've seen a bit of that this weekend, though. You never quite know how it's going to go out. Here's Godku. Fizzled out after his first 2. I'm trying to bounce back here. Let's see. He's in a battle with Fatch. Fatch making it pretty late into the running last game here. Tactical shotgun in the inventory. Harpoon. 4 minis. Pretty decent start. Not to mention the 300 builds to go into his favor here. This is what Fatch wants. He wants this player to come down towards him. Godku not giving him the satisfaction. Not just yet. This Harpoon could be perfect for weakening those walls. Yes, I think he's going to look to boost on through. Wait a second, though. Now going for the exchange here. Trying to take the wall. Not going to find it. Looks for a different angle. He's got the shotgun advantage, I'm almost certain. But no tags to open things up, so you don't really want to put it up in for the 50-50. Let's see, though. The dual perspectives, the back and forth, the good shot exchange, though. That's going to go into Godku's favor, both of which are going to get tagged, though. That's okay. Now it's a little bit of a battle up for hype, Balla.
It is, and this fight on the side of zone actually could end up favoring Arkham. You know, he'll start rotating in here soon. Imagine he picks up 2 quick elims because Godku and Fatch end up fighting on the backside of this mountain, but they are tucked in a corner, so third parties are very, very unlikely. But no materials on pretty much both sides. Godku definitely has none. Not sure about Fatch. The edit from the top, and Godku actually takes advantage and he predicts the edit, knows that Fatch is weak. And we'll bait that wall, make it so that it looks like this is an easy, at least tag from Fatch, but Godku responds.
Pretty big frag right here for Godku on the backside. Now gives him all the time to maneuver and move about. Still some other materials to pick up here. Metal and the spare wood. As he makes his way out to that, that'll give him a little head start to get to where he needs to be right now in the competition. Not only that, Fatch had some pretty decent loot. Talk about the burst rifle upgraded premium style right there. So that's nice. Some shrooms back here I didn't even know existed. Nice little find. It's gonna work out.
The crevices of the map, the places you never go, are the places most explored in grand finals days. First zone will go way far north, I believe, and it's going to start moving soon. I'm surprised already not to see Arkham on that rotate, and here is where it goes. It's about halfway up, so maybe a different path, because we haven't quite seen a middle map zone, which is what we're getting in this game right here.
Sloth, on the other hand, another player who's struggling right now to find some big points. 30 points, not too much. He's going to be engaging into the path of Zesty and someone else that's in this loot lake area, getting tagged up from the distance. Now pressured between two different angles. Sloth's in the middle of all this. It's Jacob who's pushing on in hard north from Misty. Remember, he does have control. He's been rotating out early and finding a little bit more success this time around. Jacob looking to hopefully pick up and close the gap that he left off. He hasn't had the running like we expected, but still, he's in this competition as there is plenty of more games in front of him. Jacob getting into the mix now. Sloth on the run here. What can Jacob do?
I think Sloth was chasing one Zesty and Jacob was chasing him. And neither of those parties recognized it. Now they're in a bit of a weird situation with three players on top of him. Sloth is low. I believe Jacob got beamed up a little bit too. We'll go way far in the distance. That's his weather station rotate, and at the same time, Mecton is going to take shots. Yes! He finishes off Sloth. A nicely timed window edit on the third party as Sloth goes out on the bushes that are very exposed at the Lazy Lake.
This is rough for Jacob, who really needed these points here. He's been trailing behind. Bugga wants a piece of the action, someone who is also in a desperate situation. So you're looking at two players who really need to turn up right now. And I think Jacob's just on his W key mentality. He's really looking for the hunt. Mecton, though, a totally different position in the tournament. He's about 80 points. He's not doing too bad. He's actually vibing on the bubble. Closer to top 20 than anyone else. Bugga is going to lay down the marker here to see how much distance he's got between himself and the opponent. Bit of a derp on the crash pad, but that's all right. It's going to work out for him. Dude, Jacob's still on the heels, though.
Still hunting him. He is literally still hunting him. He saw him once, and now he's going after this. I'm surprised he hasn't shot yet, but there's a tag finally on Bugga, but it's not Jacob is shooting him. But Bugga now recognizes Jacob behind him. I'm wondering if Jacob actually wants to engage on this. Mecton is still firing upon both of them. Imagine now, Bugga, who's watched Jacob play so many times, has to engage on him because of the non-region lock, and he will. Jacob on the wall, Bugga on the backside, playing a little defensively, insta back wall because of the ping disadvantage. You don't normally see Bugga do that, but he has to in this case. Pops the shields back up, and Jacob recognizing the fact that Bugga will go on the backside and that there's still Zesty trailing them. We'll end up backing away. Epic Whale now. I hope that's not against Furious. Yeah, Furious is actually here, and they're both going to start charging the pressure cookers. But an awkward fight at the vaults. And Epic Whale already has the glider gun, so I'm surprised to really see him engage too hard at this because it's a big risk.
That's right. This is not a big fight that he needs to take, not at the current moment. He's got all the advantage working in his favor at the big zone here. The nice loadout, the comfortable lead with the points on the rest of the competition, but for some, that's not enough. He still has a ways to go if he wants to catch up to Arkham in first place. Furious walks his way into the vault, though. So now, he's got a pinned in there. Epic Whale can take huge advantage of this, especially now that he has this compact SMG. And yes, Furious is pinned down here, Ball. There's not much he can do. Oh, man, Epic looking to take more control of the walls. Grenades are going to come out, though. He's going to back up.
Nice. Okay, I was going to say nice for a second, but crouching out of the vent, not recognizing that he can't place the wall until he's way exposed to Epic Whale. Now Stink's coming in, too. Furious is taking heavy fire. That player might not stop. Epic Whale is certainly not. He's going to try to phase up through the box. I think he just adds, yes, the cone and gets the white tag. Now he just needs to finish him, but Furious is masterfully snuck his way around the side of this. Epic Whale will chase, though, and continuing to be on that wall. Yellowed ramp, but Epic Whale will finish Furious, puts him in a bind, and that's a trap, a gambit on the side of the vaults. Epic Whale gets the loot, too, and still more players in this. They're scented up at the top of the place, and Altiu, both of these guys dropping at the authority, but Epic Whale seems to be hogging not only Jules and her mythic loadouts, but also the vault too.
I want to bring a little focus to how many players are in this game, Balla. We're back to that stacker of a lobby. I know it didn't feel like it because of how much of the early game action we got to cover here, but there's 90 players and the zone is already closing. We're coming into zone 2 here, just showing you how many players are still in the running right now. Things are looking to stack up. Bamboozle on the backside of the zone, you can see rotating around. This is the player who's on the bubble of breaking into top 100. Struggling with the loadout.
Bamboozle barely qualified for grand finals yesterday, and literally the final game. Remember that 1v1v1 that he had towards the end, shockwave launcher and everything, trying to hold him out, but he ended up making it work. Now with 72 points, I'd say that's a pretty good range for him, given what he had to do yesterday in the semifinals to get here. And he's doing a little bit of an edge map, edge zone rotate himself. Curious where Arkram is. Curious where Frappi is. Both of those players, by the way, landing relatively close to each other. I mean, I'm talking Fortilla and Rickety Rig as Bamboozle hits a nice shot. That could mean that they might engage as time goes on through one of these games. Booga has made it away from Jacob, by the way. Although there's still an arrow following him, so who knows?
Oh no, and it looks like whoever that is behind them is very close. And yes, he's gonna find a lot of shots. And now he's getting collapsed on here. He's got to figure it out. Looking to scramble up for height. The splash is already out though, so one more heal. Will he find for the 5 seconds? I think he is. Lucky for him, Tronic is actually not back up here. Who did he know? Everything was in his favor for a second there. See Nugs on the other side of things though, with that hunting rifle. Everyone's got to be careful. You're in this kind of vicinity.
I'm almost thinking that fight might have been better if Booga actually fought it, given now he has no heals and also has to worry about Surge while rotating. I was also going to potentially recommend staying in that base, but now realizing zone is moving. No chance. He has to be slightly earlier to this to find these types of tags. Maybe Jero will help him get above. And no, still below. This is going to be an issue. Zone is closing in 30 seconds, and that's when Surge goes active. With no heals, too, he can't out-heal. He'll have to dive on somebody unless he can hit the shot. That's why he's kind of gambling. Nugs, though, looking. Booga's got to be careful. This is how he went down last time, and he goes down again. You remember, in the open, looking for snipes, looking for heals, and getting punished hard.
The big mirror situation as before. Gets punished. Someone who else is getting punished here is Bumboy in the fight as Verse trying to hop on through. He's got the security of all the Fortilla loot. Safe to say, looks like Dubs is not looking too hot so far in the game. We'll see how that's going to play out, but Verse trying to push his way all the way into this one. This is a fight he's already committed to. He ought to wrap this one up soon now, though, as the zone is looking to push them across. Bumboy on the run. Can he push through? Yes, he's going to find all the tags that he needs to come up. The siphon. He's chilling now.
Speaking of come up, Vert was at 5 points last game. If you remember the fight that he had against Union at Slurpy Swamps, now at 80. So he definitely had a good game 3. He had oh, actually, I'm surprised to see him all the way up there. I think I maybe thinking of somebody else, because he started off strong. So my mistake on that one. He's sitting at 26th place right now. There's Unwed, a nice shotgun shot over through. And we're starting to see a lot of players approach this 100-point mark, which means if you want that prize, you better start fragging right now to catch up, because Arker might be stealing all the points at the top, but the rest of the lobby, in terms of all the rest of the elims, are starting to creep on up.
Jacob's going to connect with Benny right there. So we saw him aggressive on the tails of players. He's finally going to find one. All that work. Tavern falls in this game here. So the consistency from Tavern now thrown out the window coming into game 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we're halfway into the competition right now. Nugs, the player that just got that snipe from before, is on the other side here. On Wet, trying to make his way into the 100-point threshold. Yes, he's going to find it. and now also gets to secure the loot. That's probably the biggest part of this whole thing. Frist is in a little bit of a skirmish, though, against Clicks on the other side of the wall. Clicks trying to jump into the box with Frist. Not going to work out. Clicks instead is going to find another one. Yes, there it is. Frist is out.
Two East lures battling against each other, and Clicks will just go through with a pistol. Don't forget, both of them on high ping makes it kind of a weird fighting situation. Arkram on the north side of Pleasant Park, which is another time we get this northwestern zone. Slightly more west in this case, so we'll have a lot of land. Rocane up, Maximo 2. I think I just see Unreal pick up another Elim, by the way. The mobile player's still fragging. He might end up higher than a lot of people at the end of this, which will be in a story in and of itself. I think the only mobile player qualified for any grand final of this caliber ever, I think.
Here's Izzo. Looking good in the competition right now. Trying to get his groove on here, but still has to inch in forwards because of the zone. He's sitting on top of the enemy. Oh, for a second there, I thought that was enemy cone. We know the disaster that can spell. He sees tricks on the backside of the zone. Yes, he is going to be able to steal that one away. A big 5 points for him. This is just giving him a bit more cushion and confidence. Remember, he's right in that top 10 right now, hovering underneath where we saw Epic Whale before with the 143 points.
Frappi in this too. He's looking central, or at least closer to the southwestern edge, which might mean that he has a good opportunity to get this fifth zone. That's what's revealed right now. You can see Sora, named Soft Famer right now, getting over the hump into fourth zone right on the edge. An RPG though from Coop will start to pressure him. He won't find too much. I think just testing the waters, and that actually ends up finding reverse 2K in Elim, but Coop is jumping on it, and yes, he's in the box with reverse 2K, and for some reason he couldn't find a way to box Coop out. No distance put between them, and Coop finds it. And that's Kit's loot. Hold on, is the shockwave launcher here? That could be huge. I'm surprised not to see 40R Storm with Kit's Kit's charge. Litzinio nearby too, and we know that's the reason why he was in towards the end of game, what was it, game 2.
Coop's been struggling in the tournament so far. This could be his breakout performance now that he's got the major upgrade loot-wise there. Still surprised that Reverse didn't even build a wall to block him off. Kind of rough the way that played out. Here's Illusion. Someone who's way behind in the competition right now, but he gets his moment on the big stage here. Let's see what he can do with it. Another player with that legendary pistol action. Like I said, we've been seeing this a lot in solos. It's just you do with what you get and try to make it work. And yes, right here, you're seeing the connection with it. That high fire rate, the damage surprisingly high too, that can carry down range. Half in, half out, coming soon now, Bala. 20 seconds on the clock for that one to pull up.
Nice pickup from Caleb. I like how he kind of pauses after getting a couple tags. I kind of wish that he didn't, because I think that Elim would have been 100% guaranteed, but in some cases you give somebody a sense of relief for a second, and that's how he finds the follow-up shots. I do see Acorn, I do see 40R Storm, so potential that shockwave launcher is still in play. Illusion in a box fight against Midi. He gets launched way up and taken out. I believe Acorn will find another refresh that's not his. That's not his Elim credit, I should say. Epic Whale already rotated all the way north. He was south before. Paired up with Frappi 2. Illusion is going to try to phase into a box with Matt. I know he was low HP, but questionable decision right there. Ketsui, who we saw earlier at the Shark, has fifth zone. Dub's still in this. Going to try to spot basically everybody who has a potential to overtake. Actually come back in this. Frappi was here. Clicks has gotten a lot of Elim so far, but placement is not elapsed, and I don't think he's reached that a single time.
The problem there is actually the Storm Surge. It's been ticking this whole time. So Illusion was running from the Storm Surge. He was desperate. And still, a player is still up. So showing you that it's been up for quite some time. Now only one person being affected by it. We'll see how that's going to play out. Take a look at the wide shot here, guys. Give you an idea of who's still in the game here. Remember, Coop has that Kit's loot still in the game. Arkram still in this game as well. big names I'm seeing on the pan here. Dubs, I thought, who was probably taken out because he didn't have Kit's loot earlier on, or Ocean's loot, is still alive here. So making it out of Fertilla. Finally, Dubs makes his way to a mid to late game. Let's see what he can do with that.
Epic Whale sitting pretty close to Arkham right now, and that's first and fourth. Frappi is still up in this, right behind Enkuz, and they do make their way in zone. On the backside of this, less congestion, so if they get zone, it could be really, really nice. Jacob has made it to endgame, even though he's playing so aggressively. But on the south, or the north side there, towards Pleasant Park, we have Acorn on height, who is also rising as an East player from Canada. 135 points in 5th place for Acorn.
Finally now, the zone pulls. It's going southeast. No prior build, so everyone's going to have to start fresh here. This is going to be a map burner as we pursue forwards. And we know what that can look like here. Let's see, though. Falconer still in this game here. And Boozer on your screen on the bottom right, looking to do something big. Crashpad's going out in front of him. He's going to break for it, and he's going to get tagged in the process. What can he do now? He's forced to box and heal up, but the server's looking to fire its way in. It's not looking too good for him as everyone's firing away. 10, maybe less HP now. 42 whites here. This is the comeback for him, and no, he's not going to find it. Will he follow up? Yes, he is. Still in the game. Close one for him, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. On the other side, though, more frags turning out for Zen Beast here.
Yeah, that player down below, I had to get through the crash pad, but couldn't just fire through it. A couple of elims go through that spike right there. Union's still up, Vert 2. I haven't seen Arkham fall. I just saw Clicks, though, unfortunately, in 39th, so I have to continue to follow up on that. Coop, like you said, starting to frag as well. And I believe I just saw a 100 Thieves member. It could have been Arkham. Yes, it was. Getting Elim again. He is starting to frag, and he's still up in this. 33 players left, and Arkham, again, is a potential player to end up winning the game, and he's on height. He's on height again, time and time. He's challenging, and time again, he's putting himself towards top 5. This is a dominant performance. Finally gonna crash pad off, though, and potentially give that up.
Let's not forget 3.3 average placement. He's looking to continue to keep up the ridiculous stats that he's accrued this game, this tournament so far. Wild Fox is doing great in this competition too. 144 points stuck in the zone, though. He's got to get in. He is going to get in with just a few ticks on the clock there. To Taltai as well, still in this endgame. These are players giving top 5 a run for his money. Coop now looking to break his way up, though, and that Mythic Shotgun's putting in some big work here, Bala.
Yeah, but still 20 players alive. Yes, Coop, another one in the bottom right of the screen, and potentially another one too. Yes, he gets it. We switch to height, and it's Wild Fox who gets up there, takes out Roque. No, he's on a mid-ground layer, but Arkham has to get over this hill. Looking to see. Frappi is still in this game. Epic Whale 2, those are the big ones, and Scented as well. That's Emad GG is a beast, just so you know. A nice RPG, but Coop now stuck in his zone. He's going to take a couple of ticks. Epic Whale has been launched out, and so is Arkham. He's down below. This is going to be it. The first time that he falls in 6th. Now, 5 players remaining in this one. It's Coop, Beast, and Make It is on height.
Coop trying to make something big happen here. And you can see he's going to have to drop all the way down low ground here. And now he's crossing past Wild Fox, who's at 173 points. So this is massive for him. He's looking to overtake everyone else coming in. This is big, though. What is he going to find? Nothing. Not just yet. Pressure coming in from both angles. Looking for the defense. He is going to find Coop on the back storm line. Another massive frag. Looking to follow up. And yes, can he get it? He is. And Wild Fox is going crazy now. 4 eliminations. Top 3 situation here.
These players all trying to get back up into contention for that top spot. Get into the top 5. Mecton, one of them. Everybody pretty much in the same situation, except for maybe Skittles, who might be lower, so maybe more meaningful for him. Wild Fox is on a tear, though, and in the top right, he boxes him up like a fish. Goes out in the zone, though, not much space to work with, and Wild Fox gets back the stairs. Mecton escapes, and now he's actually going to turn tail and look down towards Skittles. Nobody really playing the height. Wild Fox finally realizes that it's free.
Still looking good for Wild Fox here, Bala. He does a little dance. I don't know. Could it be too soon, though?
I think it could. As he takes that break for a second, he's just trying to get those 2 to fight. That's what he gains by being on height. Mecton with only 1 build. Skittles is going to hide behind the floor, nice. But it doesn't matter. An ingenious play, but it doesn't work. Wild Fox will go in. Perfect timing for him. And that's a 5 elim win to put him at 203 points. And with that, we're going to go to a quick break.
everyone, Kelly Link here, and before we get into the Fortnite action, we do have a quick break, and instead of it just being music, I want to see if you guys can guess what I'm drawing from Fortnite. So let's get into it. Did you guess what it is? Well, if you guessed fishing rod, you'd be right. Congratulations. You're so smart. Chat, could you know what it is? Hopefully, because it's a shopping cart. You guys know what that is, maybe. Bam. There we go. Chat, this should have been one of the easier ones because it's a Fortnite chest. Of course, where all of your favorite loot comes from. Can you guess what it is? Well, you should be able to because it's pretty easy. It's a pepper, chat. Come on, of course. All right, guys, those were some of my drawings from Fortnite. Hopefully you were able to guess a few of them. And if you weren't, I don't know, man, I'm sorry. But we have some more Fortnite action coming up real soon. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite. We're taking a quick look at Godku up on the screen, but there's now Caleb, everyone. We are 4 games done and 4 games to go. That means that we are at the halfway point. And Bala Monster, I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it as long as he's going to be holding this first place spot. Arkrim, 61 points now ahead of the competition.
Yeah, but there finally the Shockwave launcher actually impacts him because he was potentially going to get into the top 5, potentially even winning that game. You saw him actually above that hill. And you remember, I was like, oh, he made it over. It was going to be a problem for him, but then he made it over. And all of a sudden, he was way in the zone, just firing shots because he knew it was over. Still gets 7th with that and 4 eliminations. So guess what? The lead is now 60. FratPie also moves up, though. So maybe a little, still a potential for FratPie to catch up. But everybody else, man, Arkham might be leaving people in the dust. And it's only the halfway mark.
Yeah, Monster, we finally got to see some new names, some new faces towards the end game there. Wild Fox, Skittles, and Mechton being the final 3. Is there any possibility that these players and the other 95 players that we're not seeing in the top 5 have a chance to grab it at the halfway point?
Oh, 100%. We've seen players have a lead like this and fizzle out before. I don't want to, doom anyone's success so far, but this competition is far from over. It's just been the Arkrim show for the first half of it. We saw players like Taltai still playing consistent. He was making his points back there. We saw Epic Whale still racking up and stuff like that. So yes, all of these guys are very much in the running, and this competition is not out of their hands just yet.
I completely agree with that. And let's actually take a quick look at the highlights that we saw from game number 4 there. Finally, again, showing some new faces, Bala. But as you said, still the Arkham show.
Yeah, it really is. And we talked about a couple people who still potentially could overtake. I mean, you mentioned Monster, Epic Whale, Tautai. I mentioned Frappi. And sure, they might still be rising the ranks, but I just got to say, Arkham is still outplacing them every game. This game, 7th, and we saw the unfortunate circumstance. Frappi placed 11th, Epic Whale placed 10th, Acorn placed 17th, Tautai placed 9th. So like even with unfortunate circumstances finally happening to Arkham, it's actually later than anybody else is having those situations unfold to them.
And not only that, though, I'm just like thinking about players like Acorn, who we didn't really talk about, but Acorn was at 143 points. He picked up another 30 that time around. So still being relevant upwards towards that top 5. And that's what I mean by everyone has to stay consistent. Everyone has to keep, their game up, or they're going to, fall behind. They're going to fizzle out, including Arkham. Yes, he has that buffer. We saw Mr. Savage versus Teak. Savage had a full game buffer, falls out one time, and all of a sudden now Teak starts slamming his way towards first place. And it all came down to a single elimination, showing you how close it can be.
And Wild Fox did push his way up to 3rd with that game. It was a really nice one from him. 5 elims and the first place. Obviously, we saw the final moments of that one. Really nicely timed from him. But yeah, I mean, you talk about buffer. Arkham might actually already have 2 games of buffer over everybody except maybe Frappi, who I believe is like 60 points. Or it's actually like 50 points for him, whereas everybody else at 79, 80, that type of thing. So it definitely might be a double buffer for Arkham.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at some of the numbers right here, Arkham in first place. His average placement in the 4 games that we've had is 4th place. The next closest one, I think, is 10th place. So Arkham, regardless of how many eliminations he's getting, is doing a great job making sure that he's at least top 20 in all of his placements so far. Frappi is taking 2nd, Wild Fox in 3rd, Tautai doing a great job holding 4th there, and then Epic Whale in 5th. But of course, the other 15 names that you guys see there in the top 20 are doing an incredible job. And Monster, just like you said, any of them, and probably all the other 80 players as well, still have an opportunity to claim one of the top spots.
Yeah, and that player that's getting that average placement that you mentioned, the other best average placement is Scented. He's in 7th place right now, still in the question, in the conversation here. Let's give some credit to Furious too, by the way, who's placing well and fragging right now from NA East, and he's in 11th. So it is quite the competition right now.
I did want to hop in there, Kelly, on Scented, whose name is Emad GG is a beast, making it annoying for us to actually follow him. But highest average placement besides Arkham, 9.75. The issue for him is he only has 1 elim, 5 points from elim. Oh. Everything else is placement. And you're not going to keep pace with Arkham, who is still getting 4.25 elims per game. That is ridiculous.
That is absolutely insane. And Bala, maybe you can speak more to it as we pull up the drawing board and go over it real quick. How exactly is someone coming into this in the top 10 with only 1 elimination?
Yeah, to talk about Scented, basically, he's having a struggle at Authority. We saw it for a moment there in that one game because we were watching Epic Whale so much, but he's not finding the loot. He's not finding the glider gun to be able to cover distances, and he's not having access to the vault. It's very tiny there, but you saw Epic Whale holding it, and he's actually making a rotation path all around the Authority when it's actually centered in that, making sure that nobody's getting to that zone. So that is something that Scented is going to need to fix, because clearly he's having rotations up here, over here. And there was one game that was kind of like, actually, I forget where it was, but still, like he's having a good placement game. So he's having the same basic rotations that Arkham is doing to survive the mid game and make it to end game. He just needs a better setup coming out of early game against Epic Whale.
And I was just going to say, I bet if you hold his rotations, right, the ones that Scented is making compared to Arkham's rotations from down over here, they have to be night and day, right? You're talking about someone who's playing dead size rotates versus someone who's probably playing directly for early placements, mountain tops, and then having to battle the Storm Surge. I'm very curious to see how he's finding success right now. I didn't even realize he only had a single elimination. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, lots of crazy things going on right now. We only have 4 more games to go to find out who is going to be our North American West champion for the DreamHack Open. But before we get into that, everyone, don't go anywhere. We have a quick break, and then after that, it's going to be game number 5.